Good morning, everyone. The dissertation topic that I have chosen is a proposed wine theme park at Sangli. There was once a Greek philosopher by the name of Epicurus who taught the simple lifestyle of Epicureanism, where he wanted people to achieve all the best pleasures and comforts in life with respect to food, wine, and other luxuries. Wine for me gives out the same feeling of luxury and comfort. It has a certain grace, elegance, and sophistication which has been carried out all around the world in wineries and vineyards, and there is a need for India to match that same respectable level. India, being a new world region in grape cultivation, has seen a boom in the wine industry in recent years. In spite of misconception, wine is referred to as a healthy alcohol, and people are taking an active interest in its production. Most wineries concentrate on solely wine making, hence aesthetics should be given equal importance and wine should be sold in a manner as elegant as the product itself. A few live case studies and online case studies were done, out of which one was Sula Vineyards, which is a large scale winery almost like a wine park, and the other was Soma Wine Village, which is a smaller boutique winery. These case studies were done to understand the spaces, zoning, circulation, footfall, requirements, pros and cons. Site selection. Out of the major grape growing states in India, Maharashtra was selected, being the leading producer. The site chosen is in Sangli, which is plot 50 to 59 of MIDC Palus of an already existing non-functioning winery, that is Krishna Wine Park. These are the site surroundings, including a stone quarry, village area, existing production unit, an electrical substation and the beautiful Sandgiwadi Lake. The site chosen is a 12.3 acre land with climate ideal for growing good quality grapes. The site is covered with small shrubs and bushes and has a gentle slope rising upwards from 0 meters to 8 meters. The FSI is 0.2, which gives an opportunity to create interesting open spaces and vineyards. A SWOT analysis was done, and to conclude, the site can grow good quality grapes, and if there is enough focus given to the tourism aspect along with the production, this wine theme park can be a boost for this community. This chart shows the hierarchy of the stakeholders branching from the government to the community itself. This program was divided on the basis of usage of spaces by the staff and the visitors, where industrial facilities, that is the winery, would be a common factor. The design principle selected was hierarchy. There is hierarchy in terms of importance. In the chart showing the numbers 1 to 3, 1 representing the public areas and 3 representing the resort part, the more one pays, the further they proceed into the site. There is a hierarchy in the size of the structures in the public area, which is helped by the contours. There is also hierarchy in terms of succession in the wine tour, which is a rigid process, one stop after the other, showing tourists the process of winemaking. The structural concept was inspired by a few structural marvels in the history of winemaking. There are structures representing caves. The theme of wine barrels is carried forward in the site. Arches are an important element in the design. And finally, the ferrous cement roof of the structures represents these themes but also has a modern outlook to it. Now, how is this theme park different from a normal winery? There will be a focus on the tourism side of things. Instead of the guide explaining and showing the winemaking process in a monotonous manner, there will be an attempt to make this process more hands-on as to make it more interactive and interesting. The site was divided into 3 major parts, being the public area, private area and semi-public area. These areas are divided by a diagonal axis throughout the site, which is the green belt, comprising the open spaces like the amphitheatre and the vineyards. Circulation. Vehicular circulation was restricted to the entry of the site. Service circulation was restricted to the edges. People opting to stay at the resort will have a free flow of circulation. And finally, the wine tour has a rigid circulation, which will be talked about in the next slide. This is how the site was developed, starting with the main entry points and service entries being decided. Next, the open spaces in the green belts were planned out. Then more recreational spaces were added to the site. Next, a production unit was created near the vineyards and the service areas. And finally, a resort was designed at the end of the site with a view of the lake. This is the site plan. These are the main entry points and parking areas for the 4-wheelers, 2-wheelers and the buses and shuttles, which will take the people to the main city approximately an hour away. These are the service entries on the left and right side. As you enter from this main gate, you will see the ticketing and waiting areas along with the restaurant building, gift shop and reception area. After purchasing the ticket to the theme park, one can utilize it for any activity, being the restaurant, the tour or the arcade. People going to the resort will be guided to the electric cycle and caddy stand, from where they will be taken to the resort. This is the part of the main building where the wine tour starts with the screening room. People can opt for 3 kinds of tours, which is the regular tour, which will be on foot, a personal tour where they will be taken on personal caddies from place to place. Older people can opt for this tour, or a non-guided free roam tour where they can either walk or take the cycles from place to place according to their convenience. These are the points where the cycles and caddies will be parked. After the screening room, they will be taken to the vineyards where people pick their own grapes in their respective baskets, making this process more interactive. They will be allowed into these vineyards, whereas the other vineyards are solely for production purposes, which the tourists cannot visit. Next, they go on to the destemming and grape crushing area where they destem the grapes that they've picked. There will be pre-destemmed grapes already kept in the stomping units for them to crush. Then they take a hands-on tour of the winery consisting of the production unit, barrel storage room and labeling and bottling unit. Through the landscape features, they make their way around the amphitheater to the final step of the tour, which is the wine museum and tasting area. These plans show the structures at the entrance of the site. After being dropped off, people will enter the site and see the ticketing counter along with the collection office. This is the front elevation of the ticketing area. These are the outdoor waiting areas made of polycarbonate sheets. Trees are placed next to them which provide adequate shade. The gift shop is placed at the entrance so that people can visit it while entering the site or while leaving after they are done with the tour. It has a mezzanine floor as seen in the first floor plan and provides different items like wines, other themed souvenirs or recycled wine byproducts. The cafe on the ground floor has a bar and a kitchen. It is relatively open, providing ample air circulation, and the interiors follow a theme of wine barrels. On the first floor, overlooking the vineyards, there is an outdoor seating area which is shaded by creepers and a pergola. Going through the ferrous cement roof, there is an air-conditioned restaurant which also follows the theme of wine barrels and has smaller wine installations as well. Here is the front elevation of the building with an installation on its left. Arches are a prominent feature in most structures in this winery. As you can see, open arches are followed on the ground floor and tinted glass arches are used for the first floor. And this is the section B which cuts through the gift shop and the restaurant building. These are the views showing the ticketing and the waiting areas, the ground floor of the gift shop, the cafe and the bar on the ground floor, the outdoor seating area on the first floor, and finally, the air-conditioned restaurant on the first floor with different installations. Here is the part of the main building which the people can visit as they enter the site. There is an open reception and indoor waiting area for the visitors divided by concrete arches inspired from the Tama Art University by Toyo Ito. It has a courtyard and randomly shaped installations which can also be used as seating spaces. Next to it is the screening room where the wine tour starts. Here the visitors will get a brief history of wine. Beside it is an admin block consisting of the manager's cabin, conference room, staff room, AHU, accounts room, BMS room, storage area and a control room for the screening area. Through the roof enveloping these structures, people can go to the arcade block which has different arcade games and a trampoline park which is mainly provided for the children that don't wish to go for the tour. As mentioned before, from the screening room, people will proceed to the vineyards where they will pick their own grapes. And then they are brought here to the manual destemming and grape crushing area. They keep their baskets on the table, destem the grapes and are provided specific footwear which they will be wearing in the seating area. Grapes have already been placed and ready for them to crush with their feet. After this process, they move on to the winery which is actually divided into two parts. That is the mock-up unit which the tourists can visit and be a part of with this interactive winemaking process. And the second being the actual factory part at the back of these units which the tourists cannot visit. From the open corridors, people go to the first block which is the production unit. There are two mock concrete vats with a mezzanine service area on top where a guide will show them how the grapes are stored inside them. There will be plasma screens around the room showing the steps of the process of winemaking for different grapes. People can view the actual production unit behind through the glass wall where there is a control room, a storage room, 12 vats, 2 destemming and crushing machines which are all used for production and fermentation. They go out through the curved roof in the buffer area where they are shown the filtration unit from outside and are briefed about the next zone which is the barrel storage room. Here there are barrels placed in a curvilinear manner with wine stored in them for the aging process. At the back there is another storage room, tank room and a control room which only the staff has access to. Again, they go out through punctures in this curved roof where they see the landscaping and the staff room and are briefed about the next unit which is the labeling and the bottling unit. Here, people will have to enter their names on a screen and will receive a small wine bottle as a souvenir with their names printed on it. They can view the bottling unit through the glass wall but again cannot visit it. Then they exit from the corridors These are the exterior views of the winery. For the elevation of this structure, the first and the third units still follow the theme of arches, and the interior structures are made of glass, providing ample natural lighting. But the barrel storage unit requires little to no lighting, so no opening is provided on the interior walls. But there is a concrete jali on the exterior wall to have a play of light and shadows in the corridor. The section on the views show the interiors of these three units step by step, from the grape crushing or stomping area, the production unit with the vats and the service area on top, the barrel storage room with minimal or dim lighting and adequate cooling provided for the aging process, and also a huge wine barrel in the center, which is an exhibition piece with its side being made of glass so that people can see the wine inside it. And finally, the labeling room. From the winery, the visitors are taken around the amphitheatre to the final part of the tour, back to the main building, which is the wine museum and tasting area. These are the entry and exit points of the wine museum. As the visitors enter, they will see 6-meter high ferrous cement structures that are shaped like half wine bottles, used to hide the columns, which have info screens displaying facts about wine. At the far end of the museum, wine storage devices and artifacts are showcased. And in the center, spanning 2 floors, is a huge ferrous cement installation shaped like a wine bottle, through which people will walk and see old and different wine bottle openers on the display shelves. Escalators and elevators are used to travel vertically from floor to floor. On the first floor, there is a huge display of different wines from around the world, different wine corks and glasses. There is a balcony for the people who want to go outside. The second floor also has a balcony but is shaded by vertical louvers because of the direct sunlight. This is the wine tasting room with a seating area and different installations like the bottle pool and hanging wine glasses around it. There is a huge curved tasting counter and also a curved curtain wall which provides the visitors with a view of the lake outside while sipping the different wines given to them. After the wine tasting, people can exit this structure, and this will bring an end to the wine tour. Section AA- is cutting through the site. This is the amphitheatre where weekly there will be a light and sound show with Sangli folk dances for the people staying at the resort, and yearly there will be a summer wine fest that takes place. In the main building you can see the reception area, admin, arcade block, and finally the wine museum and tasting area. This is the elevation of the main building. As mentioned before, there are arches on the exteriors of the arcade and the reception area, and on the museum part, red tinted glasses are prominently used as windows, as it makes the dimmed red light fall on the concrete structures inside, making the interiors look more like red wine. These are different views of the wine museum building. The first view shows the exterior part with the amphitheatre. The rest of the images show different interior parts of the wine museum building, like the huge ferrous cement installation in the center and the ferrous cement bottles hiding the columns on the ground floor. You can see how there is a slight red or pink tint inside this structure because of the tinted windows. The final view shows the seating area on the wine tasting floor and the installation near it. The last part of the site is the resort facilities. It is located at the highest contour on the top left corner of the site. There are a lot of trees planted at the edges of the resort part which act as a sound buffer and secludes this part from the rest of the public area. As you enter the resort, you will see the admin block. It has a reception, waiting area, main office, storage area, staff room and BMS room. This block is connected by pergolas with the shower and toilet area for the swimming pool. Next to the swimming pool is the clubhouse or the activity building. It is mostly open with an open cafe and bar on the ground floor and also a spa. Between them is a spiral staircase which leads people to the gym and the games lounge on the first floor. This slide shows the staying facilities provided to the visitors for their enjoyable weekend. These are the luxury villas that can accommodate up to 7 people. There are 5 villas in total. They are simple and decorated villas with 4 bedrooms, 2 on the ground floor and 2 on the first floor. There is a drawing room, kitchen and dining area on the ground floor, and a balcony on the first floor where people can sit and relax. The bedrooms on the first floor have personal balconies overlooking the Sandgewadi lake. Next are the barrel cabins, which accommodate up to 2 people. There are 9 cabins in total, each unit having a bed, a TV unit, a workspace, storage cabinet, and a washroom. These are a few views of the resort, showing areas like the view of the admin block from the entry, the shower area at the pool side, and the clubhouse. Then there are different views of the cabins and the villas with the cycle stand near them. Now, moving on to the ARD part. Due to the FSI being 0.2 for all secondary activities, from the available 9,955 square meters, 9,650 square meters was consumed. The total FSI consumed, including the production unit, was 12,285 square meters. As mentioned before, the site has a gentle slope from 0 to 8 meters height, each contour representing a height of 2 meters. And this second part shows how the existing contours have been slightly manipulated by cutting and filling to accommodate the structures. It also shows section AA- with the revised contours. The wine theme park will be as self-reliant and self-sustainable as possible. These are farmers' rest zones inspired from the JSC bottle seeding house in Vietnam. They are made out of plastic bottles and bamboos. The bottles will be wrapped tightly around strips of 4 cm bamboos to make the curved surface and the sloping roof. On the other flat side, there is a bamboo jali. On the sides, 3 cm thick half bamboos are tied together with the help of dowels. Between these bamboos, there will be a 2 mm nylon envelopment which helps in avoiding dust and rainwater. And on the base, there is a 5 cm thick bamboo grid formed which is resting on the concrete pipes. These rest zones are placed in the production vineyards for the farmers when they want to take a break. Glass bottle is a major material being recycled and reused in different places throughout the project, like in the steps or the stage structure of the amphitheatre, or even used in interiors of places like the restaurant or tasting rooms as installations. Here the glass bottles are used for arches that are found on the way from the winery to the amphitheatre. They are 5 meters in length and 230 mm thick, resting on concrete blocks. This is the module of a typical bottle brick. The bottles used in these arches can be of different sizes and colors, hence giving an aesthetic appeal as compared to normal brick and concrete arches. Part 5 is the fiberglass barrel vault skylight located on the top of the wine museum part of the main building. It is a 16.5 meter long and 12 meter wide skylight with a glazing thickness being 12 mm. The detail at E shows how 2 glazings are joined with the help of an aluminium snap and pressure cap on top and a condensation gutter on the bottom. The detail at F shows the aluminium flashing closure being connected to the vertical and the horizontal glazing. The detail at G shows the connection of the skylight to the base with the help of an aluminium plate and an anchor. The detail at H is similar to the one at E, but instead of having the condensation gutter below, it has an aluminium snap bottom. Section EE- is cutting through the production unit of the winery, which has a barrel vaulted roof. This is the view of the production unit, which shows the service area on top, which the staff will be using regularly to clean these concrete fermentation vats inside out. As seen in the plan, there are slits present on the floor that will collect the water which is used. This water can be collected in the storage tank behind and is further transferred to the effluent treatment plant. Part 7 shows the working of the pavement blocks which are placed in the floor near the ticketing area where there is heavy footfall. These blocks are energy harvesting tiles that generate power when they are pressed. They are used to run low voltage equipment such as street lights. Part 8 is the wall section of the main building. The ground and the first floor use marble floor finishes and the second floor has a wooden floor finish. Each floor is 6 meters high with 230 mm concrete walls used that are protected with insulations and an air barrier. The balcony on the first floor has a concrete paver with drainage and a waterproof membrane on the floor and also has a 10 mm thick glass railing. There is a 3 meter cantilever on the second floor with a curved tinted glass curtain wall. On the other side of the building, there is a balcony which is shaded by large vertical rotating louvers. Each louver is 310 mm wide and 40 mm thick. They are supported by mullions which eventually move with the help of an actuator that is located on an actuator bracket. There are 4 large openings on the wall for these louvers, each being 2.8 meter long and 2.65 meters in height. The final slide shows the services layouts of the site. The inspection chambers are placed at a distance of 10 to 20 meters according to the requirements on the periphery of the site. The water exits the site through the disconnecting chamber located at the bottom left part of the site and exits to the main sewer line located on the main road.
As mentioned before, the winery wastewater gets collected and is sent to the effluent treatment plant. There are drains at the edges of the pathways which collect rainwater and send it to the storage tank next to the treatment plant. These drains are sloping downwards with the side contours. This water from the ETP and the rainwater tank will be treated and can be reused in the wineries and vineyards. Drip irrigation is also used in the vineyards. The approximate footfall, including staff and visitors, would be 300 people per day, who would require approximately 50 liters of water per day. Hence, the tank capacity is taken as 5000 liters for OHT, 5000 liters for UGT, and 5000 liters for the rainwater tank. The UGT is located at the topmost part of the site for ease in the flow of water. There are OHTs located on top of the main building and even in the admin office of the resort. There are 96 solar panels of size 2 meters by 1 meter located on top of the roof of the main building generating energy, and 48 panels located near the vineyards which are used for providing hot water to the wineries and are also used for solar water irrigation.
And that brings the end to this thesis project. Thank you.